Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you, Caitlin.
We were off.
For 1 week.
Yeah.
Was it just a week?
Yeah.
It actually felt like way longer.
Yeah.
It seems like we have not been in this room to record a podcast in about 6,000 years.
Just because we do bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So we have
So it's pretty
off.
much almost a month that we haven't. Could that be? No.
No.
Like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Okay.
Which is close to... Anyways, okay.
Practically a month, Caitlin. My word.
Well, it's the holiday season now, so we're happy about that.
Yeah. We're drinking what I would consider maybe a little bit of a Thanksgiving drink.
Yeah.
Well, you could drink it on Thanksgiving, but you could
Sure.
also drink it any fucking time because it turns out they're delicious.
Yeah.
Pomegranate Gimlets. Am I saying that right? Hopefully.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So I got a cookbook, a Barefoot Contessa cookbook for my birthday from my sister.
Aw.
And this drink recipe was inside. So it is pomegranate juice. You're supposed to put pomegranate seeds in it, but we just skipped that.
Yeah.
Simple syrup, lime juice, and gin.
Boom.
And fucking mix it up in a pitcher, and then you shake it up with ice right before you serve it. And it's fucking delicious, and you can make a bunch of it all at once.
Did you say simple syrup?
Yes.
Okay.
The simple syrup that we made on your stove in 1 second and then poured it in hot.
Good
yeah,
job,
that's
Michelle.
simple syrup.
No, it's really tasty. I'm not much of a gin person, but it's really
Well, you can't
limey.
even hardly taste the
you
gin.
can't taste the gin, so it's for everyone. This drink is for everyone because you can't taste the gin. So
It's like drinking juice.
Yeah.
Pomegranate juice.
and lime.
Yeah. No,
Ooh.
it's really good.
It is really good.
Are you excited about the holidays?
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, it's still COVID, and we're about to have another shutdown, so
Well, you recently told COVID to fuck off right to its face.
I did. That's why we were off, because I was exposed, but I was negative.
Ta-da!
So
The hero
Yeah.
of the day.
you can't stop me, COVID.
My God. I was so bummed. You
I know,
don't even
right?
know. You might know, but I was really bummed.
Yeah, right? No, I was too. I was like, ugh. So,
Well, I'm glad you're healthy and safe.
yes, no symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms at all. So, I'm very thankful for that.
Yes.
So,
Me as well.
thank you.
All right. Well, you
All
going
right.
to kick us off with
I
some
am.
kick-ass story?
It is a kick-ass story. All right. This story is about Jacqueline H. Lucas.
All right, Jacqueline.
So, Jacqueline is born on February 14th, 1928.
Oh, a little Valentine's Day, baby.
Right? Super cute. He was born in a very small town in
Oh,
North
this is
Carolina.
a boy? I totally thought this was a girl. I apologize.
Just you wait. But he was born in a very small town in North Carolina. At a young age, he trained because he wanted to be strong and seen as strong. Jacqueline was a girl's name, so he wanted to be seen as a hardcore person so no one would make fun of him.
Oh my God, it's a boy named Sue all over again. That Johnny Cash
yes,
song.
yes, exactly. So I think he went by Jack. So I'll call him Jacqueline.
Okay.
We'll call him Jack.
All right.
That's what he went by.
Strong Jack.
Yeah. So, at the age of 13, he enlisted as a cadet at the Edwards Military Institute in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Things changed when December 7th, 1941 happened, which was Pearl Harbor.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yes. Jack was extremely pissed off.
Oh,
Like,
he was mad at the Japanese for bombing us. Is
exactly.
What you're saying.
So what did he do? He walked out of military school, went across the border to Virginia, bribed a notary public to swear he was 17, hitched a ride to the nearest Marine Corps recruitery station.
How much do you think he bribed the notary for? Like
I don't
$5 or?
Pack of cigarettes? I don't know.
I know, could be a little bottle of liquor.
He forged his mom's signature to enlist, and they shipped him out to the Paris Island for U.S. Marine Corps boot camp.
Oh. Did you ever forge your parents' signature?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I
Same.
I had permission to, so.
Oh, I did not.
Oh.
I did not. I got really good at my dad's signature.
That's who I forged. My dad's just it just scribbles.
It's like,
So
just
it's
do
like,
it.
yeah.
No, my dad had a very neat signature, so it took me a
Oh.
long time. He was very much, the neater your signature, the harder to forge.
Mm-hmm.
So, which just meant I had to try a little bit harder. I was
That's a
able to
good goal
forge
to have,
like
Michelle.
3 of my teachers' signatures.
Oh my
I
gosh!
was a bad kid.
Like, forging people's signatures.
Well, here's the problem.
Okay.
I never liked to do homework. And so I would get on these like teacher parent programs where the teacher had to sign off that I got assigned the homework, and then my parents had to sign off that I did the homework, and then my teacher
Jeez.
had to re-sign that I did the homework. So I finally just said fuck all that and just started doing all the signing myself and did no homework. It worked.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. And you graduated, and there we
Fuck
go.
you, 5th grade. I passed.
5th grade. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, I remember one time I even brought it up, like pre-signed by me, the teacher.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, it's fine. I already signed it." I was like, "Ha ha, ha, it works."
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
I was a shitty student. My God.
I think mine was just in high school, and I needed to sign to like watch a movie, like a
Oh.
rated R movie. And I'm like, I have to turn it in today, or I have to go to the library and do homework. They're like, all right, just
sign
fine.
it.
Yeah, just fine. Watch the rated R movie.
My
It's
mom's
fine.
probably listening, like, "What the fuck kind of daughter did I raise?" All right, sorry.
So Jack was he's 13.
Oh shit! I was thinking like he's like 17 or 16 by
he's
now.
13. He got a notary to say like he's 17, and he forged his mom's signature to be like, hey, I want
Was
to
he like
enlist.
4 or 5 at this point? Like...
So he is 5'8", and he weighs about 200 pounds.
Okay.
So you would never know he was actually 13 years old,
Wow.
right? So he made it through basic training and was a Marine at the age of 14.
Oh my gosh.
They gave him a labor job as part of the training battalion of the Paris Island.
Okay.
So they gave him a labor job. I said that weird, sorry, but so
Yeah.
he has a job, labor.
He's got menial tasks
Yeah.
in front of him.
So he hates this job. This is not what he signed up for. He wants to fight. Hating this job, Jack walks out of this job and got a ride to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii.
Dude, he's not fucking around.
No, he just walks out when he's not happy.
Fuck you, Marines. I'm not going into battle, so I'm going to take this into my own hands.
No, he wants to go to battle.
I'm saying the Marines didn't put him into
I
battle,
see,
so
I
he's
see.
ditching them to go find his own.
That's right.
My goodness.
So he told an officer there that that there was an error, and he was supposed to be stationed at the front lines in combat. He's supposed to be in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Said it a little funny.
I did, yeah. So they were like, okay, well, first you have to do this job, which is a truck driver job on the Marine Corps base on Pearl Harbor. So
now he's assigned to drive a truck around.
yep,
But in Hawaii.
in Hawaii on
Okay,
Pearl
so
Harbor.
if I got this right,
Yeah,
he was in where? Virginia?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, that's right. And he's like, fuck it. I'm managing to get to Hawaii somehow. And then he shows up at Hawaii and was like, hey, Marines, there was a mistake. Put me on the front lines.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, you got to drive truck instead.
Right.
Okay.
Hating this job.
He's just not satisfied.
Jack keeps requesting transfers to the front lines, and he's denied each time.
Oh, dear.
So for the next 2 years, he was arrested for bar fights, going AWOL to meet up with ladies, got busted with alcohol while walking through the barracks, then arrested for punching a military policeman who busted him.
Oh, my goodness.
He spent many nights in the brig, and he was just really unhappy, and this is not what he signed up for.
No, he was going to go shoot people.
Right? He was so scared that the war was going to be over before he could go into battle.
Gosh. Jack.
So he pretty much said, fuck it. I'm going no matter what they say.
Of course he is. Oh my God. I'm going to find my way to their front lines.
He snuck aboard a military transport ship headed to the front lines. So he spent a month living off crumbs just so they wouldn't ship him back. So he's hiding on this military ship and just trying to survive, not being caught.
He has more passion than I have, I will
Right?
say.
On February 20th, 1945, now he's 17 years old at this time now, Jack is the 1st Battalion, 26th Marine, 5th Marine Division, was one of the only ones who charged the beachhead without a weapon.
What? Because he didn't have one because he was a stowaway?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, where'd that dude come from?
Yeah, pretty much.
He needs to get a meal in him. He's a little skinny.
Yeah, right.
He's about 160 now.
He quickly grabbed a gun off a dead man in the surf. With a gun in hand, he was ready for battle.
Yeah, he was.
Jack was running towards the tree lines as a machine gun fire, explosions, artillery fire was happening all around him.
He was like, fuck it, I don't care.
I made it! Jack met up with a 4-man fire team that were making their way through the jungle at this time.
Okay.
They thought they came across a machine gun nest, but quickly realized that 11 men had gone into tunnels underneath and were now behind them.
Oh, is this the Japanese then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The Marines turned around and then they opened fire.
Oh, God.
Jack's first round went into the helmet of an enemy soldier, killing him on the spot. His second round jammed in the rifle since he got this gun from the ocean. So it's not the greatest of guns.
Oh, Jack.
Trying to fix the gun, Jack quickly sees a live hand grenade that lands right at his feet.
Ugh.
Without hesitation, he throws his body on the grenade and screams to the other people to cover.
Oh, my God.
A second grenade then is thrown and is just arm's reach from Jack. He quickly grabs that and jams it underneath with the first one.
What?
Yes.
Why not just throw them back? That would be my reaction.
Like, no! You take it.
They're back at you. Oh.
This type of grenade was a Type 97 fragmentation grenade.
That doesn't sound good.
It's a 16-ounce metal ball stuffed with 65 grams of TNT.
Oh my God.
The deadly thing about grenades that people don't, think it's just the explosion. It's actually the 100 bits of shrapnel that go flying through the air. So small razor-sharp metal pieces go in all directions within 100 to 150 feet.
But not in this case because
It's
our
all
boy's
going. Yeah.
sitting on them.
So once the grenades go off, Jack is just laying there, lifeless.
Yeah, I would assume dead, but since this is a survival show, I'm gonna think
Hope for
maybe
the best.
not.
This act of heroism fired up the rest of the Marines, and they pushed back the enemy soldiers and captured that sector.
Wow. They were
Right?
inspired by Jack's
Sacrifice?
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well put. I was going to say something else.
Stupidity?
Yeah.
So they came back to retrieve Jack's dog tags, but noticed that he was still alive and conscious.
Oh.
The Navy corpsmen were called and they carried out Jack on a stretcher, with also having to use their .45 pistols to fight off the oncoming attacks.
Oh, shit. So they're trying to drag him out of the jungle.
Right.
Are they in the jungle?
Yeah.
Did we say that?
Yeah. The dense jungle.
Sorry. And all the while just getting fired upon.
Yep.
So like, bang, bang, bang.
Just like that. Just
Pew, pew, pew.
They got Jack into a hospital ship, and it took 21 surgeries to remove 250 pieces of shrapnel from
Oh my
every
God.
major organ in his body.
Good Lord. Yeah, it must have just completely torn up his whole abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
After 7 months, Jack got to walk up to Henry S. Truman and receive his Medal of Honor in person. He had completely recovered at this point. So about 7 months.
I'm waiting for them to be like, well, actually, you enlisted under false pretenses, so.
He was the youngest Marine to ever receive the award. Jacqueline went home and finished school, like he promised his mom. He started in 9th grade when he went back because, he was 13 years old.
young.
He was so young. But he graduated, and he even graduated college as well.
Oh, good job.
He was married 3 times. And even survived a murder attempt that his second wife hired a hitman on him
What
for.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, he's a passionate guy.
Yeah,
what
I
can we
guess
say?
so. At the age of 40, he wanted to get over his fear of heights and enlisted in the 82nd Airborne as
This fucking tracks.
as a paratrooper.
Oh my God. At 40?
Yeah, at 40.
Oh, can you even join the military at 40? Probably back then you could.
I don't know. He was a paratrooper, so
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But on his first training jump, both parachutes failed.
What the fuck, Caitlin?
He fell 3,500 feet and attempted to do a commando roll just as he was about to hit the ground, and he did it perfectly and was able to walk away without any injuries.
Fucking, are you lying straight
No,
to my face? Fine.
Yee.
Oh my god.
Just 2 weeks later, he was back, and his second training jump went better.
I hope.
Yeah, went good. He finished his tour 4 years later as a captain in the 82nd Airborne Division. He ran a business selling beef and even wrote an autobiography called Indestructible.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
He fucking fall 3,500 feet.
And just like, and roll.
Yeah.
And now.
I know. He must have been thinking it like the entire way down. Like, what is your fucking thought process?
Yeah, right.
I mean, because you're falling for a while.
Yeah.
And you're just gaining speed the whole time. Nothing's fucking working. And now I'm going to roll.
Yeah, right? Like,
Ugh.
I have no words.
I would try to roll, and turns out I just landed on my head and died faster.
Oh my God.
You somehow broke your back to be the most painful way possible. Most people break their backs and get paralyzed and can't feel anything. Not you, girl.
No. So he met every president from Truman to Clinton and has his original Medal of Honor citation laid out in the
Hall of
the USS Iwo Jima.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Sorry. He had a long and successful life, but died of cancer in 2008 at the age of 80.
Oh, well, that was a pretty good life. 80?
Yeah, 80 is pretty, I mean...
That sucks that cancer got him. That blows.
Cancer got him, right?
I know, I'm surprised.
Not the grenade, not the hitman, not the falling
out of the plane.
out of the plane.
That's impressive.
Right?
Wow.
So, good for you, Jacqueline. That just is some determination. Like, I want to do this. I'm just going to go. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that's some determination that perhaps I've never felt in my life.
right.
I mean, he is committed to his goal, and
He didn't care about getting arrested. He didn't care about being dead.
No.
This is what he wanted.
Yeah, I'm fucking abandoning my guys here, and
Yeah.
I'm heading over to Hawaii because I'm sick of this shit.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
But just like you hate this job, walk out. Go do what you want to.
It's crazy.
That's a good message, I think. I mean,
I think.
I don't know. Do what you love.
That's
There you
right.
go. There we go. That's the message of the story. Do what you love.
And if that means going to war, I guess.
I mean, I guess. Stow away on the ship. No, don't break the law. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lesson that we need to take away from
there's
this
no
one.
lesson. He's a badass.
I guess it's my turn for a story.
It is, Michelle. Let's hear your awesome story.
Okay, guys. Let's just take a pause real quick. There's a shit ton of Russian names in here.
And you...
I do not speak Russian.
I see.
And, in fact, I think as it turns out, I don't even say Russian names well at all. But I will try. See, that was supposed to be a Russian accent, and that was not even... Oh, God.
So... All right.
You're in for it. You are in for it. Oh, good God.
All right. So let's hear these Russian names.
So I'm going to take us back to 2010.
Okay.
So this
10
is...
years.
10 years. So this is September 2010. And there is 72 passengers on I don't know if it's a Tu-154 or a Tu-154. So
All right.
it's a type of plane.
Sure.
A big plane. And it is on a 5-hour trip from Polyarny Airport in Northeast. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So it begins. That is in Northeast Russia, and it's going to Moscow.
Okay.
So, as I said, it's a 5-hour flight. So, on this plane, we have Stanislav and Yukaterina. Did I say that right?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yukaterina. Okay.
You just don't have the accent.
Yukaterina.
Okay. That's Italian or something. I don't know what. Nope. Just continue on. Yeah, I'm cutting that off right now. We're not trying anymore. Nope. We're not trying no more.
Anyway, they're married. And they've actually flown on this particular flight a bunch.
Okay.
So it's kind of a commute flight for them. And Stanislav, who's 30, is always not calm on these flights.
Oh, yeah,
always
makes sense.
like, we're gonna die. It's gonna crash every single time he's on this. And his wife, as always, is like, if we're fated to crash, we'll crash. If we're not, we won't.
Yeah, like,
so,
take it or leave it.
yeah. I keep trying to get into a Russian accent, and I just can't fucking do it.
I had
That's
to do a Russian accent for this independent film I was an extra in, and they, like, I thought I was just in the background, but like, hey, can you do this line in, like, with a Russian accent? And I'm like, oh no. I did it, but I don't know if they kept it or not.
Yeah, it's probably about as good as, well, I'm sure yours is better than my Italian accent, trying to be.
I didn't do any hand motions either.
I know, I always do the chow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to maybe not be a part of this anymore. So Stanislav worked in this remote diamond mining settlement way up north. And so even though he hated to fly by air, it was really the only choice.
Right.
I mean, otherwise the commute was going to be super long.
Right.
So Yukaterina had recently been appointed the head of juvenile delinquency department for the regional police department.
Oh, wow.
Which put her very far south. And so they both were away from home all the time.
That sucks, though.
Yeah, so she's working in the south, he's working in the north. Stanislav is a heavy equipment operator at the mine, so he can't easily just get another job somewhere else. And
does it pay well? I would assume so.
I would hope.
Because if he's flying,
you're working in a diamond mine. But who knows, because it is a monopoly. And, you know, in Russia, maybe things are a little tougher. I don't really know. Yukaterina rented an apartment near her office, and then so she would go a couple months without seeing her husband or their 5-year-old daughter, Sophia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was kind of a hard time. So they were squabbling a lot, and really kind of the only time they spent together was on these flights where they were going to see their daughter. Their daughter, in the meantime, spent time with their grandmother while they were off doing both their jobs. So they were really kind of struggling to work things out.
Right.
And so on this particular occasion on this flight, they were taking a much needed holiday together, and they were going to see their daughter.
So they were going to go see their daughter?
Yeah.
Where is she?
She's off in the Black Sea with her grandmother.
Oh, the Black Sea.
Yeah, I know. It's like, ooh, it's so exotic. It's probably very cold. So Stanislav just found it impossible to unwind. So they're on this plane, and he is just completely wound up and just can't relax. So, but up in the cockpit, the atmosphere was a little more relaxed.
Okay.
So it's a 4-man crew, and they have been making this Moscow Polarny. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. To Moscow.
This flight back and forth from this town to this other town. They've been doing it for nearly a decade. So the pilots, Novoselov and Lamanov, were both veterans.
Okay.
And had nearly 20,000 hours of flying experience between them. Yeah, so they were, you know, they knew what they were doing. They've been doing the same flight, probably in the same type of airplane, for almost 10 years now. Both of them held the rank of commander, and both of the pilots were tall and slim. So they had been working together for so long that they just worked in tandem very well together.
Oh, okay.
Like, they just sort of knew, they knew what each other were supposed to do and everything. So, yeah, they had it down. So they knew their aircraft really well. And as they finished their safety checks, they taxied out onto the runway and launched the big plane off into the sky. And they had no reason to suspect that there would be any issues, that this would be the same flight as normal. So.
All right.
So this time, unfortunately, Stanislav's anxiety was justified.
Okay.
So this time, there would be trouble. Dun, dun, dun. It was very dramatic.
No, I hate planes, so.
I love planes. No. I'm sorry to hear that.
The only thing I like is the airport, because it's like, I'm going on a trip. And then I get on the
very exciting to be at the airport.
Yeah, and then you get on, and it's like, ooh, I can't control any of this.
Oh.
And if we go down, it's over. I mean, it's slim chance. Let's continue on and let's hear it. But I mean, pretty much your chances are not that great. Assume.
Hard pass. They're excellent. So about 3 hours after takeoff, as they're cruising over northwestern Russia, the plane shook violently, and then the autopilot disengaged. So the two pilots, Novoselov and Lamanov, quickly took the controls. So they kind of grabbed the controls and sort of got the plane back into going smoothly, if you will.
So it's like, oh no, it's okay.
Yeah, we got the controls, autopilot's off, but we're flying it, so all is well. So they turned to their flight engineer, Rafik, we'll leave it at that. They instructed him to figure out why the autopilot had quit working.
Okay.
So he's like looking all around and he's scanning the instrument panel and he sees a red light flash. And he's like, we've got a power failure.
Oh.
So the basic electricity on the plane had failed. The plane had switched automatically to their battery-powered reserve system, but that wasn't working either. So Rafik, with a quiet alertness, as it says, didn't know what was causing the problem, but he grasped the gravity of the situation pretty quickly.
Okay.
He realized they were in fucking trouble.
Oh, no.
Like, big time. So one of the pilots, the guy that starts with an N, he radioed to the air traffic control and informed them of the problem of the regional air traffic. And he's like, there's a chance that we're going to have to make an emergency landing. Please find us the closest airport.
Okay.
And they're like, please verify the reason. And then it like cut off because they lost the power to the radio.
No.
Yeah, so they were like, so then all of the gauges go dead, the instruments go dead, the navigation devices go dead, and the control systems, they start switching off one by one by one. Just ding, ding, ding.
Do the lights go out?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
they
gosh!
do. So this particular aircraft has 4 reserve batteries, but the 4 batteries on this particular flight or on this particular airplane were at least 11 years old. And the lifespan of these batteries is 12 years old. So they're getting to the end. They could even be possibly past their expiration, if you will. The investigators later concluded that one of the 4 batteries experienced a thermal runaway, which means it overheated to the point that its electrolytic fluid boiled away. So this affected the battery next to it. So the battery next to it no longer worked.
Oh.
And then unrelated to the battery failure, a voltage jump in the airplane's main electrical components crippled the other batteries.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like...
Worst case scenario everywhere.
Yeah. So it was like a power surge that fucked up 2 batteries. And then this other battery overheated and fucked up the other battery.
Oh,
so now all 4 batteries are gone.
Wow.
And so... they had like a little bit of power, but in just a few minutes, all the power from the batteries was depleted. So they had to have everything be operated on manual mode with pretty much no power. So we have Stanislav with his wife, Katrina, in the back. And he sees the fasten seatbelt sign, on the up there, slowly go dim and then go out. So the light's on all nice and bright and then it dims out and goes out and he's like, that can't be good. That's strange. So he turns to his wife and is like, something's happening and we're gonna die. And she's like, no, don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine. It's all well. And then one of the flight attendants is kind of like, something's not right. And so she goes to the cockpit and Rafik is like, we've got a big problem. We'll tell you about it later. And like ushers her out. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, wow.
And so she goes back out.
That's not a lot of confidence.
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You want to hear, no, everything's great. I don't know what you're talking about. So she had been flying for over 30 years as a flight attendant. And so she guessed that the glitch was electrical. She went back to the cabin and kind of apprised the other flight attendants of the situation.
Okay.
And one of those flight attendants was her husband.
Oh.
So they had been flying on this flight together now for 7 years.
Aw.
And so one worked in the front of the plane and one worked in the back of the plane. So they kind of all got together, said, hey, there's a problem. We got to kind of diffuse this situation, help out where we can.
Yeah.
And then they all went off. But
Okay.
they all made sure they had their IDs in their pocket. So, because that's protocol in case the plane goes down.
Oh
they
my
can
gosh.
identify the bodies.
No! Oh my
So they all
gosh.
had their IDs in their pockets. God, could
What a hard job. Like, you're like, okay, we're gonna go down. It's okay, everyone. Like,
yeah.
just
Would
like...
you like a Pepsi?
Yeah.
Maybe, before we go?
Yeah.
My God. Oh, so the pilots, now they have no instruments or really anything. Or very few instruments
Okay.
are working at this point. So they bring the plane down. So they lower the altitude. So before
like,
they...
slowly, like...
Yeah, I don't think they're like,
Right.
and here we are. So they were cruising at about 30,000 feet.
Okay.
And then they brought it down to about 9,000 feet. And then when they got to about 3,600 feet, they started sort of skimming the top of some clouds. This is all in
Okay.
meters, so I did that conversion in my
Oh,
head.
good
So
job.
excuse me
Wow.
if I'm way wrong. They're like, bitch,
Oh.
no one flies at 30,000 feet.
Aw.
So, but at 3,600 feet, they get to the top of a cloud layer. So they cannot see the ground
Oh, no.
underneath. So now they're kind of like, what do we do next?
Right?
So it's dangerous to go any lower because they don't have their altitude indicator that tells them kind of how far they are from the ground. And they need to be able to see the horizon so they can make sure that the plane stays flat, I guess. So
Oh.
they don't go cruising off and like
Right.
down into a mountain or something. So they flew for about 400 miles searching for a gap where in the clouds where they could get down safely and kind of see where they are.
Okay.
So, but suddenly a warning light goes off. And it indicated that the fuel levels were critically low.
What?
Yeah. So
Don't they gas the, like, don't they put fuel in every plane before a flight?
they do. But what turns out is the pump that keeps the fuel moving through everything went out because it has no power. So
Shit.
while they do in fact have fuel, they can't get it, working. So they can't get it into the engine.
Wow.
So
I'm stressed out.
Yeah, I know. So they didn't have the constant current to get the pump to work. So the 3 engines could only use what was left in the small tank that fed them directly. So they knew they had about 30 minutes left of fuel. So there was no time to waste.
No, absolutely not.
So focusing on his training, one of the pilots, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This one.
Just one of them.
Tel Aviv. He tries to send an SOS signal on an emergency frequency, unaware that the transmitter had already stopped working. So he's like frantically trying to send SOS and it's not going anywhere. So they decide they're going to dip down below the clouds so they can see. But yeah, it's like we don't have a choice. So they tell the flight attendants to get in the back to have all the passengers sort of brace themselves and try to keep things as calm as they can. So they head back and they kind of get to work. So Stanislav turns to his wife and is like, we're going to die. And she's like, no, everything is going to be fine. Though she is not believing herself anymore.
No.
She is beginning to kind of lose hope that things are not going to turn out for the best. So the married flight attendant, Dmitry? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dmitry. He's in the back of the plane and his wife is working in the front of the plane. And he pretty much does everything he can to avoid making eye contact with her. Because he knows that if he makes eye contact her, like, he might have to say goodbye. And
Oh my gosh!
and he knew he would be emotional. And he's like, I got a job to do and I got to just do that job.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
So the pilots they go through the clouds. So they go through this whole disorienting whiteness. And it's kind of hard to tell if they're even flat or, all this kind of shit. But they manage to hold the control steady and just get under the cloud layer. And the land beneath them is covered with, I think, taiga? Is that what it is? Taiga? Anyway, it's forest.
Oh, okay.
It's like deep, deep forest. It's
Okay.
like, because Russia is covered in huge amounts of forest. So he knows that they can't land in the trees. And so he sees a river and he's like, we're going to aim for the river. Like, we'll try to get the sand on the sides of the river, but it's better than trying to land inside all these trees.
So this little river, they're like, we'll
go there.
Okay.
We're going to aim for that. We're going to aim for the sand. So the flight attendants, they're all, making sure everything's all snugged up, shutting all the little doors and everything, all the crap that's in airplanes. I don't know. Sorry. Let's see what it says. Fastening covers and securing loose equipment. That's what they're doing.
Okay.
And moving passengers so they can free up the emergency exits. So they're clear. So
is everyone just in a panic right now, or everyone's just like, this is just what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think they're all kind of coming to grips with the fact that their plane is going to fucking crash. I can't even imagine the terror. I cannot even imagine. Oh, God. So they're flying down to kind of get a closer look at this river/sandbank that they're going to land on. And they sort of did a pass, and then they see an airstrip. There's this tiny little airstrip in the middle of fucking nowhere that has been retired since like 1997.
Oh, wow. So no one's there, but it's there.
Yeah. Well, actually, turns out it is a helicopter airstrip now. It used to be for planes, but that was a long time ago. And so now they just use it for helicopters. It's a little settlement called Yzma. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Whose principal industry is reindeer herding.
Oh, cute.
Like, all right. So they're actually about, this says 1,500 kilometers, I'm not sure, so 3,000 miles maybe.
Sure.
North of Moscow. So they see this tiny little airstrip, and this airstrip is only about maybe 2,600 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
And this airplane that they're driving needs 7,500 feet to land.
Okay, yeah.
So they're like, fuck, this is going to be a challenge. So they kind of do 3 circles around. So they circle around once, trying to sort of get the angle correct.
Okay.
They don't have it, so they circle around again. And then on the third time, they sort of circle and come way back, so they can try to land right at the beginning of the airstrip.
Right.
So they have as much runway as they possibly can for stopping. So they had to lower down the landing gear manually because, of course, there's no power.
Right.
The, like the flaps on the wings and stuff, none of that worked. So all that stuff that normally slows you down, none of it was working. So they were going to have to use good old-fashioned stick and rudder skills to land a modern aeronautical behemoth on a runway designed for a little prop plane.
Oh, my goodness.
So
it's better than the river, though, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it's better than the river. So some of the passengers were praying. Others were vomiting into air sickness bags.
Oh, my gosh.
The flight attendants were walking down the aisle, offering smiles and reassurances.
I'd be like, fuck off! Leave me alone.
And then you got Stanislav here. It's like, what is our daughter going to do if we die?
Aww.
They're like, she'll stay with her mom. It's fine. So on the 4th pass, the pilots honed in on their target, and they were able to sort of bring the plane down. And, as the flight attendants are like, attention, we're landing. And so to get it, I guess everyone brace themselves. Yeah. So the 2 flight attendants that are married, they still have not been able to
look at each other.
To even look at each other. One's in the front, one's at the back. So, I mean, if all ends badly, they will not have been able to say goodbye to each other. And I know, it's fucking heartbreaking. But they're able to get the nose of the plane down onto the runway, and they start hitting the brakes, and it's like you're welcome.
Just like that.
Oh, just like that. There was some hand motions in there too, so it all worked.
Yeah.
So they slowed down from 380 kilometers an hour to 100.
Damn.
But the runway was way too short. And so they went off the front of the runway and were just going into forest, essentially.
Oh,
so
no.
it's like there's trees and
Trees.
shit hitting the sides of the plane, and it's like,
Yeah.
probably making a whole shit ton of noise.
Like
and all.
what?
You fucking hooker. I almost did it too. I was like, flap, 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 flap. You just wanted some god awful. I'll kill you. Oh my god. So they were screaming, ah! Flap, 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 ah! You're welcome.
Thank you.
So people were screaming as branches hit the windows. And when the plane finally stopped, about 600 feet into the woods, a vapor rose from the wheels because there was like so much friction, I guess. So they saw all this smoke coming up and they're like, open the doors, the fucking plane's on fire.
Yeah.
And so they're all trying to
Get out.
kind of, so the flight attendants are pretty much trying to prevent a stampede from going out. And they're like, stay where you are. You got to sit down. We got to figure out what's going on. So they go out and realize that the plane is in fact not on fire, and they start, letting people leave the plane. And what was her name? Katrina, she burst out into tears
Aww.
at this point. And then Stanislav realized that maybe his wife needed him a little bit. So he, instead of, continuing to panic, decided to start to comfort her.
Aww. So sweet.
So they started exiting the plane via an emergency chute. And about 10 minutes later, the local emergency brigades arrived. There was a light drizzle, and friends and strangers hugged and shared cigarettes and took sips of vodka. and cognac. But for the flight crew, however, the work was not over. The plane had to be sealed and the officials needed to be debriefed. A uniformed emergency worker approached one of the pilots with a grave expression. He said there was one casualty.
What?
And the pilot shuddered and was like, who is it? You killed a hare. You killed a rabbit.
Really?
And then they broke into a grin and they all laughed. And
That poor rabbit.
yeah, the poor rabbit died. But none of the passengers did.
All right.
And there was only one couple on the plane that were too traumatized to ever fly again. But it was not Stanislav and Katrina. No. They fucking flew again.
Oh, good.
No, that was it.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be able to fly for a long, long time after that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
A long time.
Oh, yeah, I think I would be done with flying.
Yeah.
My mom said she, her and my dad took a flight into Vegas once, and it was so hot that the runway actually started to melt.
Oh my gosh.
And the turbulence was so bad that the plane just like fell out of the sky a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
it just
like
dropped
yeah.
down like who knows how many, probably 40 feet or something like that. But
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
so ever since then, my mom has been terrified to fly.
Absolutely. Every right to.
Yeah.
Well, remember when we went to Disneyland and they like hit the runway and then took off again and then made a circle?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, right? Like, what was that about? I was not having that.
No, and I remember trying to play it cool, but
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, that shit doesn't happen.
Right.
Oh, I've never had that happen.
No. So that was weird.
I remember one of my first flights, we were going to Chicago. I was going with my dad, and we were stuck on the runway forever, and apparently it was a brand new plane, and they forgot a few parts. And like they forgot the like sun visor for the pilots, so there wasn't that. So we ended up having to like wait while they installed these last couple parts.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Wow.
how is this even fucking possible?
Right?
So that was horrifying. We made it though.
That's good.
So.
Damn. Well, I was on a amusement park ride, and then a screw hit me in the head while I
What?
was going. Yeah.
That's
and,
scary.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, and this is one that goes upside down. And so I tell him.
Was
like,
this at the fair?
Yeah, I was at the state
No.
fair. And I told the person, they're like, okay, so I don't know if they fixed it or not, but
I doubt it. They're probably like,
hit me right in the head. And I'm like, that's not good.
That doesn't give you a lot of confidence.
No, it doesn't.
That's why I've always liked, Disneyland and, the more permanent amusement parks rather than the fair.
Absolutely. Agreed.
As a kid, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Those are great stories.
I apologize. I'm going to come back and be like, I know all these fucking Russian names, and I'm going to go bam, 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 and I'm going to say them all perfectly.
Yeah, but it's too late now. The story's over.
Yeah, but I'm going to come back next time and be like, bam, bam, bam. I can say them perfectly now.
Oh, okay, great. I can't, if, sometimes when I find a story and I just can't say the name, I seriously might think it's just passing. Like, that's me. I do that.
This is one that I've had for probably 6 months.
Oh, really?
But did not bring it just for that very reason.
Right. You did good. I think they sounded fine.
Yeah, you're so sweet. There's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, girl, just don't even try. Vodka. Now I can see. I can't do it. I do it all the time. When we're playing D&D, I whip into a Russian accent like all the time. Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Oh, you little
No.
I can't
No,
do it.
No,
I can't do it. But I
bet
will do it today.
Okay. Finish that drink and then you can do it.
Oh, God. So I can.
Okay, I believe you, but you haven't proven it to me yet, so.
I'm done trying today.
Okay. All right. Tomorrow.
Vodka.
Okay. Michelle, okay. Anything else before we go?
No, I'm done.
We're glad to be back,
Fucking
and we hope you enjoy this podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Woo-woo!
Oh, wait. You can follow us.
We're done with that.
Yeah, okay. We're following. Okay. I should totally be there right now. Platforms. There you go. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.